One thing that happens when you do not have a vision, a picture of the future, and I will get to the definition, is that you are stuck in a permanent present. You are stuck in today's reality because your eyes are not open to see what is coming. So let's get into the definition of vision. What is a vision? A vision is a picture or a perspective of the prophecy that God has over your life or the territories he has allocated to you. Vision is a picture or a perspective of the prophecy that God has spoken concerning your life or the territories that he has allocated to you. I'll say that again. Vision is a picture or a perspective of the prophecy that God has spoken concerning your life or the territories that he has allocated to you. I'll say it one more time. Vision is the picture or perspective of the prophecy that God has spoken about your life and or the territories that he has allocated to you. So let's take one more scripture. Isaiah chapter 46 verse 10. Okay, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. So it is consistent with God's character to declare the end from the beginning. So when God declares the end of a thing, the end of your life, the end of a project, the end of a nation within your spirit and places a picture on your soul, that's what you call a vision, right? When God shows you the things that are not yet done, that's what you call a vision. When God shows you the things that are not yet done, so the picture of the things that are yet to come, perspective of a future, when God stamps that signature upon your soul, it is called a vision. And I am very careful to keep saying God, 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 because I believe that we are prophetic people. And many people usually mistake a good idea for a vision or a good strategy for a vision, right? Or good planning for a vision. Those are different things. Vision is not just a good idea, right? I said it's a picture or a perspective of the prophecy that God has spoken about your life and all the territories that he has allocated to you. So I'm not just saying what good idea do you have about the future. I'm asking you what things are yet to come as per God's agenda that you are already seeing now. And this is a very important conversation because the Bible has already said, where there's no vision, the people will perish. They will cast off restraint. There will be no boundaries or governing influence around their engagement. Your energy will be everywhere. Your direction will be everywhere. There will be no focus, no governing influence around your environment. You will cast off restraint. They will perish. Right? So God is a God that shows and gives the perspective of the future even while we are still in today, based on Isaiah chapter 46 verse 10. There's another definition of vision that I like very well, and it's by Rosabeth Moss-Cantor. This lady says that vision is not just a picture of what could be, it is an appeal to your higher calling. I like this definition because it directly counters what people say. Vision is a preferred picture or is a picture of what can be. Not necessarily. You know why? Your potential is omnidirectional. What that means is anywhere you face, you can do well. According to the scripture, whatsoever it does will prosper because of the blessing that is upon you, right? But we are prophetic people. We live as per God's agenda. So what we call a vision is not just a good idea for our future. It is a revelation of our highest calling. Vision is the revelation of your highest calling. Vision is a revelation of your highest calling. Vision is a revelation of your highest calling. If you got that, let me see you type it in the comments. Vision is a revelation of my highest calling. Another definition that I like, vision is a picture of what can be that should be. So it's not just a picture of what can be. We're not just roaming in a realm of potential and trying to distill something that can work. No, vision is a picture of what can be that should be. These are the two definitions I want you to have in mind. Is the revelation of your highest calling, is a revelation of what can be that should be. It's a revelation of your highest calling. God is talking to you about his grand purpose for you. That's what vision is. And then it's a picture of what can be that should be. Is a picture of what can be that should be. And this is very important. In fact, it is a law, like we have said. There's no success thinking without the application of vision, without the conception and the application of vision. There's no success thinking without prophetic perspectives. There's no success thinking without a revelation of your highest calling. That's where it begins. So whether it's a vision for your family, is a vision for your business, is a vision for your personal brand, all of these should be an offshoot of what you have seen as your highest calling. Vision is not just a picture of what could be, it's an appeal. It's an appeal to your highest calling. God is trying to school you about what he has invested in you for his agenda. So he will give you a vision. God is wanting to bring you into the territories he has ordained for you. So he will give you a vision. Are you with me? Your present reality is always being impacted by two forces. Your present reality at every given time is always being impacted by two forces. Is either being impacted by the force of the past or by the force of the future. Your current reality is always being impacted by one of two forces. Either the force of the past, your experience, what you have done, what you have accomplished, what you went through, who you knew, everything that has already happened to you, or the force of the future, a perspective of what is to come, that is yet to manifest, a preview of coming attractions. It is either that future is exacting on your past, on your present rather, or the past is exacting on your present. The idea when you are trying to design success for yourself is that your current reality be impacted by the future, not the past. By the future, not the past. That's why I said vision is not a good idea, because a good idea can service what you already know and what you already went through and just give you safe landing based on what you perceive may be coming. Vision is not a good idea. So you can say, based on my business in 2025, I have been able to close 250 real estate deals, for instance. And then in 2026, I want to close 400 deals. You are consulting what has happened to be able to direct where you should be going. And you can be wrong, because God is not necessarily continuing what already happened. He may be bringing you into a new territory entirely. So you have to lean into the future to say, where is God going? What is God doing? And how can I connect where I am today to where God is going? Do you see that? So it's not just a picture of what could be. What could be is a good idea that you can consult your past and distill. What should be is alignment with God's agenda for your future. Imagine if Gideon, the mighty man of valor, before God gave him a revelation that he was a mighty man of valor, imagine Gideon getting a vision. He probably envisioned that one day he will be able to get a cave for himself where he will be able to hide without the pressure of his extended family. Just an example. Or he can say, I will be able to expand my farm and have more wine so that I can be the best. Since these people are oppressing us, but I can still be living and making ends meet. Right? Are there any more contributions to Gideon trying to envision his future? right? He's consulting what he has been through to be able to distill where he should be going. And that is wrong. And many believers are there. A vision is a revelation of your highest calling. It is God telling you, you are a mighty man of valor. You are not the least in your father's house like you think you are. Right? And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, the Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. That guy is not able to think differently. He's able to envision differently because of that revelation of his calling. I'm saying this and emphasizing this because when you were writing your vision for 2026, you were doing it based on what you know about yourself, not based on what you don't yet know about yourself. Do you see that? You're writing based on what you already know. You're consulting with a realm of known potential. And that is not what vision is. That's a good idea. Vision will always transport you from a known realm of your potential to a prophetic perspective. That's why you need faith, because you don't even know if you can do it yet. Do you see that? You don't even yet believe that you are that person, but it's vision. That's why it's a revelation of your highest calling. A good idea would be able to combine your experience with opportunities that are currently available with the network that you have to provide an advantage for you. A vision will take you into the future to show you what kind of person God created you to be, what kind of networks He has made available in that territory, what kind of intelligence you are wielding because you are that person. And then it tells you that's where you are going. Mighty man of valor. Based on that, you now use faith to journey to that future and update your current reality. Prophetic perspective, not SWOT analysis, not personality assessment, not good ideas. Do you see this? Do you see this? Because the kind of success that God has prepared for you is one that it dumps your own capacity to think about any good thing for yourself. What kind of goal would Abraham have set to be the father of many nations? Come on, come on. But God had to give him prophetic perspective. Abraham, come out. Look at the stars. Count the stars. And the guy goes 1, 2, 300. Say, no, maybe you didn't even get to 100. So I can't do this. The Lord say, count again. Try to count. I can't do this. And God says, that is how. That's your future. That guy was in the awe of the Chaldees. If God did not say, get out of your country, his best goal would probably be to have more cattle in Haran, because God called his father before him. So they were in Haran. But he will never know Canaan. Do you see that? So the best Abraham would have known was the father's step, the father's attempt to obey God's voice, that he stopped at Haran. Maybe he would have expanded his tent within Haran, but God was calling him to Canaan. So I'm not telling you to generate good ideas from your mind. No, I'm telling you to lean into a prophetic perspective, because many times the contrast between what you can create for yourself and what God has prepared for you will blow your mind. Do you see that? So Abraham would have stretched his tent in Haran and have enough cattle and have enough livestock. But that's not what God has for him. You are the father of many nations, and through you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Prophetic perspective. Prophetic perspective. Prophetic pictures. That's what the vision is. It's not a good idea. It's not a good strategy. There is no good strategy Abraham would have generated that would take him from Haran to Canaan, because Canaan was already an inhabited territory. His best strategy would tell him to go to a place that has not been inhabited. But the prophetic perspective tells you, I will give you the land. I will shift it from the current owners and give it to you. Do you see this prophetic perspective? That should be what is exacting on your current reality, not the force of the past, but the force of the future. What can be that should be a revelation of your highest calling? Do you see that? Do you see that? Okay. Well, God has to give you perspective. You'll be wrong. That's what he did for Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 1. Jeremiah would have probably been a priest after the order of his father, because that's all he knows, right? You cannot have a good idea that thinks outside of the frame of what you know. What you know is what creates the boxes that allow you to think. Do you see? So he probably would have followed the way of his father, and Abraham followed the way of his father, and Gideon followed the way of his father. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, they were priests. So all this guy knew was priesthood. But go on, go to verse 2 and verse 3. Woo! To whom the word of the Lord came, prophetic perspective. Prophetic perspective. Now let's go to verse 5. Or let's go to verse 4 again. Let's go to verse 4. Woo! Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, right? So verse 1, the son of a priest. Then verse 2, we see prophetic perspective. Verse 4, we see prophetic perspective. Now let's open up that perspective. That perspective. Verse 5. Let's go. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew you. And before you came out of the womb, I sanctified you. And I ordained you what? Not a priest, a prophet. A prophet. So if you leave Jeremiah without this perspective, he will be planning how he can exert his priesthood on more territories or create a structure around his priesthood. But God ordained him a prophet. That is a realm of his potential he will never have explored without revelation. Vision is not a good idea. It is prophetic perspective. Woo! I love it. Do you see this? So the question now is, what perspective do you have that God gave you? That's where it starts. That's where success for you begins. Because success for people in the world, it can be different things. They can just conjure opportunities, network, and skills. They can do personality tests, SWOT analysis, and say, okay, what can I do? For you, it's different. For you, it's different because your current passion. That's why I have issues with people who teach purpose. Like, purpose is what you're passionate about. You don't even know what God has called you for. How would you be passionate about it? You see, Jeremiah was passionate about the prophetic. Let's look at verse 6 and see Jeremiah's response. Oh my God. Let's look at verse 6. We just took verse 5. Let's look at verse 6. See Jeremiah's response. Does this look like a person who is passionate? He says, Lord God, I cannot speak. Oh, if it's that one, I cannot speak, for I am a child. I cannot speak, for I am a child. Do you see? So he was not passionate about what God called him for, but that's what God called him for. That's what God called him for. I cannot speak because the prophetic is utterance, is eloquence, right? Or at least is your ability to talk. Jeremiah says, no, I cannot speak. Who says you cannot speak? So there are many things we hold as limiting beliefs because we have only been exposed to a particular realm of your potential. What vision does is to call you to new territory. What vision does is to call you to new territory. What vision does is to call you to new territory. The Lord said, say not. Don't say that. Don't say that. You will go everywhere I send you. And anything I tell you to say, you will say. I love it. So this guy is not passionate. Was Gideon passionate? Gideon was not passionate. He just wanted to make ends meet. But God interrupted their everyday life with a superior thought, with a superior perspective. God planting in your soul a superior perspective of your identity and your future. That is what we call vision. I've given you different definitions. Anyone that speaks to you, hold it and run with it.